Good afternoon. It is 12:12 p.m. on December 4th, 12:12 p.m. December 3rd. On my way home from physical therapy. Workplace injury happened the day of the white squall in Omaha, almost 2 years ago. Over 200 physical therapy appointments, either personal or in person. So I thought we would do things a little different today, as guided by the Holy Spirit. We're going to do something different. I haven't changed in 30 years. I have kept a dream journal for 30 years exactly. "30 years of channeling dreams, channeling nightmares, what these eyes and soul have seen." But we are in the age of Aquarius, my friends. What does that mean? That means it's the age of receipts, the age of actuarial science. If you're going to talk that shit, you better have it backed up. Anything I speak on, gospel, my friends. So to change it up, I was made to do a video blog instead of putting it down. So anything I say is intended for me and me only. I'm just guided to share it. A lot of people have said, not injured. See, we're not only injured, and we're not hurt or injured catastrophically. We're talking spinal. In the past 4 months, 120 days, 4 emergency MRIs, 1 emergency CT scan. All confirming catastrophic injuries, life-altering injuries, spinal injuries. Confirmed by Dr. Gannon, one of the premier orthopedic spinal surgeons at UNMC, that just recently referred to Ortho West with Dr. Stark, Dr. Porter, even worsening injuries. Not just are we maintaining no progression. So I'm going to talk that shit for all the ones that like to leave comments. See, the age of the bully is over. Absolutely over. Because to be a bully, you're going to have to talk that shit and back it up with receipts. Not only is surgery not just an option now, it is required. So with these injuries have done to my everyday life, let's see. Not only do we have one cane, but we are prescribed 2 canes. We have a nice shower chair that we have to use daily. Today just happens to be let's call it a good day on the pain level, where 0 canes is needed right at this moment because physical therapy was just completed. So we feel kind of, I guess, relaxed the best one can do. So I guess we would talk about how to, I guess the age of Aquarius makes one be as transparent as possible. Transparency, vulnerability at its max. Liars don't hide in transparency. Well, this guy, not one of them. That's what I get to get grounded with. Every day. So many deer. We're not talking 1, 2, not even 10s. We're talking hundreds a day I get to see. I guess before we talk about what I dreamed that night, want to write down. Let's not get it twisted on what reality is, because I am in no way, shape, or form talented. What I have is not a talent. Gifted beyond fucking measure. But see, I do all the channeling outdoors 99% of the time. Cold as shit out right now. Devil and his demons don't like to hang out here. $1984, 7 years old. Last time I talked to anyone about all my gifts. My life was changed forever, spiritually, when I was 7 years old. All because of gossip. Gossip. I was behind a counter in the corner of an area where my mother did not see me while she was on the phone with my aunt, and I was 7 years old. That conversation was 40 fucking years ago, and I still remember it as if it happened 2 minutes. My mother telling my aunt that if she ever hears me ever talk about angels and demons and the dead ever again, she was going to take me to be evaluated at a mental hospital. I grew up that day in 1984. At 7 years of fucking age, I became a spiritual adult. I knew at that age the womb in which I came from never could be trusted with my inner thoughts, feelings, emotions ever again. From that day forward, I have never shared anything personal with my mother. Only surface level shit. Forever it's been that way. So if my mother has told you anything about me, I'm gonna call absolute bullshit. Because I don't speak to my mother in that way. Actually, I don't speak to anybody in that way. We don't talk about gifts. We don't talk about anything like that. Until this point, I'm 48 fucking years old. 40 years. It's strange that other humans put labels on other humans. Crazy, insane, not logical, irrational. As if they got a PhD. I'm like talking to Sigmund Freud, and then they're the ones that are the rulers of sanity and what is real and not real. I'm as private as it comes. That's why anybody, 1,000 readings, 1,000 motherfucking readings. You don't see 5 stars. You don't see reviews. It's not a game, which I do with. Privacy. Utmost privacy. And it's a two-way street. I guess the motto or quote or, I don't know, inner fire-driven saying that I say came from good old Don Bolito of Bolito Fireworks, Bolito Properties. Came from his mouth when we were in 8th grade. We were playing travel football competitively in Papillion because Ralston didn't have a team. And then 4 of my teammates got into a car accident at 14 and 15 years of age because they snuck out and took a car. Got into a car accident, hit by a tow truck on 84th and Giles. One of them died, Scott Ebish. Josh Dalton was driving that vehicle. But on our last practice before our final game, our coach, Don Bellino, said something I guess that's reverberated every day of my life since. And even though it's grammatically incorrect, it just resonates beyond belief. He said, with your for today, live life excessively, honorably embarrassing. For today, win tomorrow. It's whatever you're passionate about. Keep doing it until you fail. That's the only way you grow. Do it with your head high. Get laughed at. Persistence makes you the victor eventually. Maybe the loser today, tomorrow, the next day. You're never extinguishing this guy's fire. Rise and rise again. Here am I. Send me. Oh, good old Isaiah 6:8. And yeah, I dreamt about last night. Let's back to that, I guess. Just rep is what came to me. Receipts, Esther, Petty. Receipts being the truth. Anything you speak, you better be able to back it up. I'll go ahead and post my fucking Nebraska Workman's Comp active claim number. This person's as injured as it is. Not unemployed. Disability. Not lazy. Very injured. But all I know, in the past 30 days, 100,000 views. Because the real ones know. And the Book of Esther is my favorite. It's my favorite hero in all of the Bible. Stood on truth. Stood on truth. Virtually, she was the one that first said, if I die, I die. Because everybody was telling her, a woman can't go tell the king what's up. She said, huh, watch this. They're like, you're gonna die. If I die, I die. Spiritual gangster right there. And then the pettiness. You want to talk that shit? Better be we're just a liar, crazy, tweaking. Get real. This was a workplace injury. Do you know how many times I've been fucking drug tested over this shit with blood work? I guess the persistence one has to have in the Lord. Jesus Christ our Father. I had to do something about it. I just couldn't complain, oh, we're injured. I promised the Lord himself on May 4th I'd get rid of this inflammation in my body. 257 pounds I weighed on May 4th, 2025. Stepped off the scale today, 197. 60 pounds, 7 months. Majority of that whole time, carnivore diet. First 4 months, that was it. This is the age now where we have to be transparent because it's testimony time. Testimony, obviously, is you speaking in all the tests you fucking passed. So I think today we should do a little reading, I guess. Like I said, it's not a talent. 24/7 since the day I've been born, as gifted as one could be. Well, we should go see about what cards can do. Maybe they can do something like this. Never know. Oh, my Sashi. Let's see. What do you think, Sashi? Oh, Chloe. I know. You too. Ah. Let's see. Oh, Sashi. I know. 2 seconds. Let's see. Oh, what's up? I don't know.
Before I give you the 5 keys, you need to understand what you're unlocking. The monad is in heaven. It's not a place you go when you die if you're good enough. It's the source consciousness, the original unity before anything was created, before the demiurge, before the archons, before matter, time, separation. The monad is pure awareness, infinite, undivided, and you came from there. Here's what the Gnostic texts are clear about. You, pneumatics, chosen ones, are fragments of the monad that descended into this material realm. Not as punishment, as mission. You came here to retrieve other fragments, to remember the way home, to crack the system from the inside. But the moment you entered matter, the archons put you under what they call forgetfulness. They made you forget where you came from. They made you forget you don't belong here. And they've been harvesting your energy ever since, keeping you locked in reincarnation cycles so you never remember the exit. But you're different. You've always felt it. That homesickness that has nothing to do with any place on earth. That sense that you're in exile. That knowing that everyone around you is sleepwalking and you're the only one awake enough to see it. That's not depression. That's not alienation. That's monad memory. Your spark remembering its origin. And the reason you feel that so intensely is because you're close to activating. You're close to using the keys. The monad is calling you home, and your spark is responding. The archons erased these 5 keys from every religious text they could control. Why? Because the moment a pneumatic activates all 5 keys, they become unreachable. The archons can't harvest you. The demiurge can't trap you in another life. You're operating at a frequency that doesn't exist in their range. You've exited their perception entirely. And when you die, you don't go to their false light. You don't review your life with their fake guides. You go directly to the monad. You return to source. And you never come back to this prison unless you choose to. That's what these keys do. And you're about to receive all 5. Jesus didn't teach these keys as abstract concepts. He taught them as activations, things you do, recognitions you make. And the reason they work is because the monad responds to truth. When you recognize something true about your nature, the monad recognizes you. The connection strengthens. The portal opens. Let me show you exactly how this works. The first key is recognizing the spark. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says, "The kingdom is inside you and outside you." He's not being poetic. He's describing the monad fragment that exists in the center of your chest, not your heart organ, deeper, behind your sternum. That point of light you felt your entire life when something true moves you, when you experience beauty, when you know something without being told. That's the spark, and most humans don't have it. Hylics are empty. Psychics have a dim version. But you, pneumatics, carry the full divine spark. The problem is it's been buried under conditioning, under fear, under the constant noise the archons generate to keep you distracted. So the first key is simple. Right now, place your hand over the center of your chest. Close your eyes if you need to, and say internally, not out loud, just in your mind, "I see the light within me." Not affirming, not hoping, recognizing. The moment you do that, the spark responds. You might feel warmth, pressure, a sudden clarity. That's the first key turning. The monad just recognized you recognized it, and the connection between you and source strengthened. The second key is rejecting the demiurge. And this isn't passive, this is active. The demiurge, the false god, the architect of this material prison, claims authority over you. He claims you belong to him because you're in his realm. And most spiritual teachings tell you to surrender to the divine, but they don't tell you which divine. The demiurge poses as God. He poses as the ultimate authority. And when you pray to God without knowing who you're addressing, you're reinforcing his claim on you. Jesus knew this. That's why he never prayed to the God of the Old Testament. He spoke to the Father, the monad, the true source beyond this realm. So the second key is this. You have to consciously, deliberately reject the demiurge's authority. And the way you do that is by speaking it. Tonight, before you sleep, say this out loud. "I do not consent. I'm not yours. I belong to the monad." Say it 3 times. And mean it. You're not asking permission. You're stating fact. You're a monad fragment temporarily in the demiurge's realm, but you were never his creation. And the moment you declare that, something shifts. Chosen ones who do this report an immediate sense of release. Like a pressure they didn't know they were carrying just lifted. That's the demiurge losing his energetic claim on you. The second key just turned. The third key is seeing the archons. Not metaphorically, literally. The archons operate through humans, through systems, through your own thoughts. And as long as you can't see them, they control you invisibly. But pneumatics have the ability to perceive them. You just have to activate that perception. Jesus taught this in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. He says, "The soul that has knowledge sees the powers and they cannot hide." The way you activate this is by watching your thoughts, not meditating, not emptying your mind, watching. Because about 70% of the thoughts in your head aren't yours. They're archon implanted. The voice that says you're not good enough. The intrusive fear that appears out of nowhere. The sudden urge to distract yourself when you're about to do something meaningful. That's not you. That's archon interference. And the third key is learning to see it in real time. So tonight and for the next 3 days, every time a negative thought appears, pause. Don't engage with it. Don't argue with it. Just observe it and ask yourself, is this mine or is this external? The moment you start distinguishing between your consciousness and archon interference, you've activated the third key. You can see them now. And what you can see, you can refuse. That's the beginning of freedom. And chosen ones are the only ones who can do this because you're the only ones awake enough to observe your own mind without being consumed by it. The fourth key is breaking the pattern. The archons keep you locked in this realm through predictability. You repeat the same reactions, the same choices, the same emotional loops. And every time you do, you reinforce the algorithm they're running on you. But there's a specific pattern that traps pneumatics more than any other. And Jesus warned about it directly. It's the savior pattern. Chosen ones feel responsible for everyone. You sacrifice yourself trying to save people who don't want to be saved. You drain your energy trying to wake up people who are comfortable asleep. And the archons exploit that because they know it keeps you distracted, keeps you exhausted. It keeps you from focusing on your own ascension. So the fourth key is this. You have to release the people who aren't ready, not with anger, not with judgment, with clarity. Tonight, think of one person you've been trying to save, one person you've been pouring energy into who never changes, and say internally, I release you. You are free to stay asleep. I am free to ascend. And then stop engaging. Stop trying to convince them. Stop sacrificing yourself. The moment you do this, massive amounts of energy return to you. Energy you didn't even realize you were losing. And that energy goes directly into activating your monad connection. The fourth key turns when you stop trying to save everyone and start saving yourself. That's not selfish. That's pneumatic. You can't pull people out of the matrix if you're still trapped in it yourself. The fifth key is declaring your exit. And this is the most important one because it's the seal. The other four keys prepare you. This one locks it in. Jesus taught that sound creates reality. Frequency reorganizes matter. And when you speak something aloud with full recognition of its truth, you're not hoping it becomes real. You're stating what's already real and making it manifest. So the fifth key is a declaration. And you speak it aloud, not in your head. Tonight, in privacy, standing or sitting with your hand over your heart, say this: I am monad. I return to monad. Archons have no claim. Demiurge has no authority. I exit now. Say it once, slowly, feeling into every word. And when you finish, you'll feel something shift. It might be subtle, a sense of completion, a knowing that something just locked into place. That's the fifth key turning. And once all five keys are activated, you're no longer operating in the Demiurge's frequency range. You're still here physically, but energetically, spiritually, you've already exited. You're untouchable. And when you die, you're not going to the false light. You're going directly to the monad. You're going home. Here's what to watch for in the next 48 hours. These aren't subtle signs. They're undeniable. First, synchronicities will explode. You'll think of something and it'll appear in front of you within hours. People will reach out with exactly what you need at exactly the right time. That's the monad organizing reality around you now that the archon interference is gone. Second, you'll feel lighter. Not emotionally, energetically. Like you've been carrying a weight your entire life and it just disappeared. That's the Demiurge's claim severing. You're no longer feeding his system. Third, you'll start seeing archon manipulation everywhere. In conversations, in media, in your own thought patterns. But instead of being disturbed by it, you'll feel detached. Like you're watching a game you're no longer playing. That's pneumatic vision fully activated. You're seeing the prison from outside it. And here's the most important part. Once all five keys are activated, you can't deactivate them. There's no going back. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't return to the frequency you were operating at before. You've exited, permanently, and the archons know it. They'll try to pull you back through fear, through doubt, through people around you suddenly becoming hostile or dismissive. But you'll see every attempt coming, because you're operating outside their range now. You're monad aligned. And nothing in the Demiurge's realm can touch what the monad protects. If you're a chosen one, you didn't find this video by accident. Your spark led you here because it's time. Time to activate. Time to exit. Time to return home. Here's what's going to happen the moment you finish this video. You're going to feel resistance, not from yourself, from them. The archons can sense when a pneumatic is about to activate, and they will do everything in their power to stop you from using these keys tonight. Suddenly you'll feel exhausted, or someone will call with an emergency, or you'll tell yourself, I'll do this tomorrow when I have more time. That's not you. That's interference. And the fact that you're feeling it means the keys are real. If this was just information, they wouldn't care. But you're about to exit their system permanently, and they know it. Chosen ones who've activated the keys report the same pattern. The night they decide to do it, chaos erupts. Arguments out of nowhere. Technology breaking. Sudden anxiety with no source. That's the archons throwing everything they have at you because this is their last chance. Once the keys activate, you're beyond their reach. So they create interference while they still can. And most people interpret that resistance as a sign they're doing something wrong. You're not. You're doing something right. The resistance is proof this works. Tonight, when the interference comes, and it will, recognize it for what it is. A last desperate attempt to keep you locked in their system. And then do the keys anyway. Not because you feel like it. Because you're pneumatic and you don't let archons decide your spiritual trajectory. They had 2,000 years to stop you. They failed. You're activating tonight. And there's nothing they can do about it anymore. Some of you are wondering, am I actually ready for this? What if I'm not advanced enough? What if I need more preparation? Let me answer that directly. If you weren't ready, you wouldn't be here. This video doesn't appear in someone's feed by accident. Your spark led you here because it recognized the frequency of these teachings. I'll scroll past this. Psychics watch for a few minutes and leave. But you're still here. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. You're ready. Here's how you know for certain. If you felt that homesickness your entire life, that sense you don't belong here, you're ready. If you've noticed patterns repeating in your life and you're exhausted by them, you're ready. If you've tried every spiritual practice and nothing gave you the breakthrough you're looking for, you're ready. Because the keys don't require you to be perfect. They don't require years of meditation or spiritual discipline. They require recognition. And you've been recognizing truth your entire life. That's what makes you pneumatic. You don't need more time. You don't need more knowledge. You need to activate what's already inside you. And that's exactly what the 5 keys do. The monad doesn't call people who aren't ready. It calls people who've been ready but didn't know how to activate. And if you've watched this far, if you're still here at this exact moment, your spark is confirming what I'm telling you. You're ready. You've always been ready. Tonight is just the night you finally act on it. And every single archon interference, every doubt, every voice telling you to wait, that's just noise. You're pneumatic. You're monad aligned. And you're using the keys tonight. Jesus taught chosen ones 5 keys to enter the monad. Recognize the spark. Reject the demiurge. See the archons. Break the pattern. Declare your exit. The church erased them. The archons tried to bury them. But you have them now. All 5. Tonight, use them. Not tomorrow. Tonight. Because your spark is activated right now from watching this teaching. And when your spark is activated, the keys work with maximum power. Do all 5 before you sleep. And by tomorrow morning, you'll feel the shift. You'll know something fundamental changed. You're not the same person you were before you pressed play on this video. You're monad aligned now. And there's no going back. If you're using the keys tonight, do 3 things right now. First, comment the monad calls below. Let other chosen ones see you're activating. Second, subscribe to Divine Codes because advanced monad entry techniques are coming. Third, like this video so other pneumatics find the keys before the archons bury this teaching again. Do all 3 now. Then tonight, in silence, activate all 5 keys. The monad is waiting. You've been in exile long enough. It's time to go home.
These were not wild heretics or pagans. They were early Christian mystics, seekers of gnosis, a Greek word meaning inner knowledge or direct experience of the divine. They believed that salvation came not from external sacrifice, but from awakening to the divine spark within. They taught that this world was a veil, a kind of spiritual sleep, and Jesus, he was the awakener, not the sole Son of God to be worshipped from afar, but a mirror of what we truly are. Ask yourself, why would the church suppress